Crypto products and NFTs are unregulated and can be highly risky. There may be no regulatory recourse for any loss from such transactions.
Two words: blockchain and cryptocurrency. They're more like celebrities in today's free world of the internet. That's because crypto is being adopted by many these days and being talked about by even more. सबको जानना है कि क्रिप्टो में पैसा कैसे लगाया जाए and how to make the most of it. As the popularity of blockchain grows, so too does the workload and transactional volume that is handled by the network. अगर हम ब्लॉकचेन को एक शेयर्ड डेटाबेस की तरह लें तो नेटवर्क को इतने सारे डेटा को जल्दी और एफिशिएंट तरीके से प्रोसेस करने के लिए नए तरीके ढूंढने होते हैं, खासकर जब इसमें और भी डेटा ऐड हो रहा हो। कुछ ही साल पहले बिटकॉइन ब्लॉकचेन एक सेकंड में 3 से 7 ट्रांजैक्शंस हैंडल करने की क्षमता रखता था, वही Ethereum blockchain में 12 से 30 transactions एक सेकेंड में मुमकिन थे। When we compare this with Visa or Mastercard, it's obvious that Bitcoin and Ethereum aren't processing transactions fast enough to be considered as viable alternatives for day-to-day transactions. This is where the concept of sharding can help. Hey everyone, welcome to Crypto Unfiltered. I'm your host Cyrus to tell you all about sharding and a lot more about the happenings of what has been yet another eventful week in the crypto world. So let's get started. Now, sharding is a concept that's widely used in databases to make them more efficient. Sharding comes from the word shard, which means a small piece or portion of a whole. Now, sharding as a blockchain solution involves splitting a blockchain into multiple pieces or shards and storing them in different places. Now, by storing the data across different computers, the computational burden on each can be reduced. This allows the network to process a larger volume of transactions. A typical peer-to-peer network such as a blockchain involves multiple full nodes, or let's call them computers, that each record copies of the entire chain's history. Using sharding, it's possible for nodes to function without having to maintain all of that data at once. One way to do sharding is to partition the database horizontally, that is, divided into rows. This way, the rows comprise the shards that can store specific types of information. For example, shards can be separated based on the types of digital assets or smart contracts that they host. The other way to do sharding is to organize network nodes so that there is a central relay network through which all the other side networks or shards can communicate with each other. This way, shards can store and process any kind of information that their functions require, while this information can be available to other shards when needed through a relay. उम्मीद करता हूं कि इस तरह की रिप्रेजेंटेशन से आपको पता चल रहा होगा कि शार्ड्स किस तरह काम करते हैं। शार्ड्स के बारे में और विस्तार से जानने के लिए आप हमारी वेबसाइट के क्रिप्टो सेक्शन पर भी जाकर देख सकते हैं। For many, sharding is a proposed method of splitting the infrastructure of Ethereum into smaller pieces with the goal of scaling the platform जिससे ये और भी users को support कर सके। Why is that important, you ask? Well, that's because increased transaction activity places increased demand on nodes to verify transactions, and there is a real threat that some of the more popular blockchain networks could become clogged up. If this happens, transaction speeds become painfully slow, which is not an ideal situation for long-term sustainable blockchain adoption. So let's find out from an expert on what could be some of the drawbacks to sharding.
A node of a proof-of-work blockchain contains all on-chain transactions. However, when we look at the node of a sharded blockchain, it will keep only a percentage or a fraction of the actual data. So to get a snapshot of the blockchain's full transaction history and on-chain addresses, a user would need to access data maintained by multiple different nodes instead of just from one node. And that, I believe, is problem number one. Then for a sharded blockchain, there is a minimum number of nodes that are required to reach a certain scale of transactional throughput. Let's take a simple example of what that means. So let's say a sharded blockchain wants to process 10,000 transactions per second. And assuming that each node can only process 50 transactions per second, then the network will need at least 200 nodes to function properly. And that, I believe, is problem number 2. There are some other risks also. Like for example, what happens if several nodes suddenly go offline at the same time? And finally, what if the network grows so large that not a single node is maintaining a full copy of the transactional history? What would happen in that case?
अब ये हम सभी जानते हैं कि गैर कानूनी कामों के लिए जिस तरह क्रिप्टो का इस्तेमाल हो रहा है, ठीक उसी तरह फिएट मनी का भी इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है, बल्कि क्रिप्टो से भी ज्यादा। यह जानकारी एक यूएस ट्रेजरी डिपार्टमेंट के रिपोर्ट में पाई गई है। The US Treasury clarified that the use of crypto assets for money laundering continues to be significantly less prevalent than the use of fiat cash and other more traditional means. जहां काफी इन्वेस्टर्स ने क्रिप्टो की ओर जाने का फैसला किया है क्योंकि वो डिसेंट्रलाइज्ड है, यही एक और वजह है कि क्रिप्टो को गैर कानूनी चीजों के लिए इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है। Meanwhile, speaking of other uses of crypto, Russia's lower house of parliament, the State Duma, has approved a resolution calling for the digital ruble, Russia's own CBDC, which is currently being tested, to be designated as a reserve currency. Russian lawmakers claim that the goal of introducing the digital ruble is to issue a CBDC for specific purposes like financing of housing and other construction projects, as well as the development of production and transportation infrastructure. वहीं दूसरी तरफ जिन देशों ने रशिया पर सैंक्शंस लगा रखे हैं, उन्हें ये चिंता है कि सीबीडीसीज का इस्तेमाल करके रशिया इन सैंक्शंस लगाने वाले देशों को चकमा देने की कोशिश करेगा। That's not all. Pavel Zavalny, Russia's chairman of the Energy Committee of the State Duma, has stated that the country would be open to selling energy for rubles, gold, national currencies of friendly countries, or even Bitcoin. According to Zavalny, Russia is ready to accept anything other than candy wrapper fiat currencies like Euro or the USD. Meta is planning to escalate its position in the Web3 sector. The social networking giant has filed for 8 trademark applications to operate Web3 services, including a dating app specially designed for crypto investors. The move comes in favor of Meta's efforts to strengthen its position in the crypto and metaverse spheres. After a slow start to the year, Bitcoin managed a 2022 high earlier this week and Ether posted big gains into the weekend, although the rest of the week has been a bit of a mood dampener as several top 30 currencies wiped off most of the gain made through the latter part of the week. Bitcoin on Monday hit a 2022 high of $48,086.84, that's roughly 36 lakh rupees, a price not seen since New Year's Eve. As of Thursday though, the world's favorite cryptocurrency had fallen to $43,425, roughly 32.7 lakh rupees according to CoinMarketCap, with a week-to-date fall of 7.6%. Ethereum hasn't yet matched its 2022 high of $3,876, that's roughly 3 lakh rupees from the 4th of January, but it rose heading into the weekend before falling again this week, and as of this recording, lost around 5% week to date. That said, Ether has continued to outperform Bitcoin over the past couple of weeks due to its upcoming technical upgrade scheduled later this year. The upgrade will be a moment later this year when Ethereum's mainnet will merge with a proof of stake system called the Beacon Chain. Ethereum claims that this major update will solve the network's well-known scalability and energy consumption problems. The crypto market fall over the past few days arrives as expectations for the biggest rise in US interest rates in 3 decades diminishes demand for riskier assets, a mood that has been echoed in the stock market too. XRP, Cardano, Avalanche, Polygon, Uniswap and Litecoin are all staring at double-digit losses over the week, while Binance, Solana and FTX token also marked significant dips. It's been a weird week for meme coins too, with both Dogecoin and Shiba Inu posting strong gains to begin the week, only to see it wiped off by the overall mood of the crypto market. Dogecoin's value witnessed a big boost that took it to an almost 2-month high early in the week after Elon Musk bought a 9.2% stake in Twitter worth around $2.8 billion, that's roughly 21,085 crore rupees. अगर आपने क्रिप्टो मार्केट पे इन्वेस्ट कर रखा है और हर दिन के अप्स और डाउन से आपके दिल की धड़कनें बढ़ रही हैं, तो आपके लिए जरूरी है कि आप अपने मार्केट के जो उतार चढ़ाव हैं उससे थोड़े वाकिफ रहें हमारे इस सेगमेंट में, जिसका नाम है ब्रेकिंग डाउन द नंबर्स. If you look at our crypto tracker for the week, we can see that Bitcoin is down by 3.46%, while Ethereum is also struggling with a minus 2.77% drop. Tether has been in the green with a 0.45% increase in the past 24 hours, while Solana, Ripple and Cardano have suffered drops. I hope you were able to understand the process of sharding and how it is helping the crypto community. We have loads of exciting stuff like this coming your way, so please stay tuned to Crypto Unfiltered right here on the NDTV and Gadgets 360 network. This is Cyrus John signing off with a promise that I will be back with more crypto gyan very soon. Take care.
Crypto products and NFTs are unregulated and can be highly risky. There may be no regulatory recourse for any loss from such transactions.